I think we kind of naturally err towards like more positive stuff because like I think just when we do like when we write stuff, you want to we actually do it kind of to make ourselves feel better at in the moment, and then it just kind of gets released. So like I think that's probably why we do write a lot of sad songs, to be fair, as well, but they never make the cut. You know, no one ever wants them in. Yeah, like it was very, we kind of like jammed a lot of stuff, you know, before. So it was very much like we would just be kind of sat for hours messing around until we kind of got something that we liked. Whereas this time it's kind of been like, or like with last time, it was like we were just sort of all either we kind of just sat down to write on a guitar, or we'd all write different songs in different rooms and then kind of come together and do it that way, which I think was actually a really cool thing because like I know a lot of people get a little bit spooked when they kind of, you start thinking about how to progress things, and that kind of just helped it happen really naturally. Like we didn't think about it too much, and people say like there's enough, we've heard anyway, that people say there's like enough of the old stuff, but also it's kind of fresh and it's not just repeating what we've already done, which is kind of really cool. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened. Most of it was written pretty new. I think Don't Make a Scene had been done the year before, and then there were like bits of bits of Do Right were done the year before as well. And but like it was kind of collated and done out in Berlin last year. But yeah, never like, I think it's either like complete ignorance and just like we don't feel sort of pressure, or like, cause I you know, yeah, it's like this is just gonna keep going well forever, and it will just be okay. Or it might just be like, because our first album we were happy with, but it didn't kind of like, we weren't sat there like we haven't sold 1 million records or anything, so there wasn't that kind of like, holy shit, how do we top that, you know what I mean? It was kind of just like, okay, that did good, let's just keep going better. And I hear a lot of people sort of talk about that, like, you know, Black Keys, I think even Damon Albarn said something about that, where it's like it's nice to have a more slow rise because it doesn't make you kind of cripple under the pressure, you know. That's really cool. It's quite funny when you hear like it started to happen a little bit more. I was out like when we were allowed to, with my mum and dad and my girlfriend for like a Christmassy kind of dinner, and one of our songs came on at this like hotel restaurant thing, and my mum and dad were just like, oh my god, like they were going fucking crazy, and like my dad was sort of sat there like pointing at me, and it was just like one of the most embarrassing things. Well, it does change, but like nowadays it's like usually either like we'll do it, like we'll have like a thing, you know, like some kind of idea, like a lyrical theme or something, and that one of us has maybe started, and then you end up generally taking that to everyone, and you kind of flesh it out and on all that stuff. It's quite rare that, like, sometimes the whole thing's done, sometimes there's like almost nothing and then we do it all together. It does vary, but most of the time I think it's like somebody will have like, this is what I want to write about, and we kind of flesh it out together, really. Yeah, I think it was kind of a natural thing. Like, I don't know about the other guys, but I think they're pretty much similar to me in that like I really struggle like fantasizing about like fictional things and writing songs about that. Like if I haven't felt it quite strongly, it's really difficult to put down, you know. So I think most of that stuff just came from like being stuck inside for ages and not knowing what the hell's going on, and I think that just kind of reflected in what came out in the end, really. It was quite difficult because you have to like figure out what's allowed and how to do stuff safely. It's a massive compliment because we've always kind of struggled with videos a little bit, and I'm glad you think they're funny, because we always think they're funny, and we're just a bit like, I think people just think we're really sort of stupid or something like that. But yeah, yeah, it's been good. Like we're lucky because we all live together. So like the worst comes to worst, we just kind of get a camera out in the house and just mess around or think of some stupid idea that we can do, like go on a donkey or something. It's ridiculous. I watched it back. I was like, this is on the edge. I really like the power actually, just because like it, we kind of thought about it for quite a while, like what it should be, and it just felt like a real, like the kind of, it just felt like a driving song, and it really reminded me at least of like when you learn to, when you learn to drive or your mate learns to drive and you kind of, it'd be like a Friday or Saturday after school and you're kind of just going, you'll go to like the shittest field, you know what I mean? You're like, there's nothing to do. You can't drink or anything, like, or go to bars. So you kind of just go random places. It's really nice actually. You don't, having not toured, like you don't really speak to many people outside of like the groups that you're in. And I imagine you're familiar with, like everyone's in the same boat really, aren't they? And like it's nice to hear how it's been received, because we have really not really, like we haven't really got much idea, you don't play the gigs, so you don't kind of tell what people are kind of digging, so it's nice to hear that. That's really cool. Yeah, like we played a lot of shows like before, like 2019 and 2018 and 2017. There's just like so many gigs, and we kind of knackered ourselves a little bit. So at first it was like, well, this is kind of lucky, like we were kind of meant to just chill for a bit, and now it's like it's just sort of a bit long, yeah, it'd be nice to get back on. I think there are plans. I'm not sure like what I'm actually allowed to say yet, but there are definitely plans to do it at some point. I think if like bands are getting through this time and not quitting and not like just not stopping, I think that's a massive success really, because it's such a struggle to make money at the moment and to keep stuff going, not to get down or anything, but to every band out there who's managed to get through it, whew, good job. Well, so the lyrics were written by Rob. I think he wrote them in South Africa, and I think he had a conversation with a guy called Jeremy Loops. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's like quite a big South African artist, and I think it was based on a conversation that he had with him. So I wouldn't be able to really say, but yeah, he kind of just came back with it, and it was really cool. It was the first thing we'd done since done together since the album, so or like worked up together. So it was just a really great tune to kind of get the ball rolling again, and I really like its kind of simplicity, but it just kind of just seems to work, and I'm really like genuinely really proud of that one. I think it's great. Yes, we do. Sorry, I had a bit of a moment then. We've got loads of music coming out actually. We've been busy. I'm not sure when we're announcing anything, but definitely expect stuff. Hopefully touring and as well, but that'll probably be a bit later on. And yeah, we're just working on a large collection of music that will be released together at the moment. And that's basically what we're doing, just loads and loads of writing, which is why we're all kind of locked up inside again. But yeah, that's basically it. More music, maybe we'll see. I think at first it helped, like, because we had so much, like before we didn't really have much time, so like we'd have a huge loads of tour, and then we'd maybe like a week where we had to like record some new stuff, and it's like, well, we haven't really had time to sit down, whereas now you have so much time, so you can really like put everything you can into stuff. Great to experience stuff as well, and that's quite difficult now, you know what I mean? Like you're not really like filling your, I don't know, I don't really know a good analogy for that, but like you're doing the same thing and you're usually in the same room every day, so you have to really kind of dig deep to get kind of new material, if you know what I mean. But apart from that, like it's been sick. Awesome. Well, great to speak to you. See ya.